Hello everyone, welcome to another session for Know Your Exam series from Shomu's Biology. And in this whole session of videos, we are going to talk about different exams which are important for your career, and we are talking about the exam's date and obviously other important informations regarding the exam with the exam pattern. As well as at the end, I always provide exam preparation tips. So stay tuned and watch the video. Welcome back friends. We are talking about Know Your Exam series, and this video is going to be about the GRE, Graduate Record Examinations, and we'll talk about both GRE for life sciences mostly, but we'll talk about the GRE, the general exam, as well as GRE, just subjective exam for life sciences or biology. So stay tuned and watch this video. First, what is GRE in the first place? If you don't know what it is, GRE is known as Graduate Record Examinations conducted by an organization ETS, which is known as the Educational Testing Services. So ETS conduct GRE exam. GRE exam is not conducted by any university or any colleges like that. This is a misconception most of the people have. It's conducted by a separate independent institute, ETS, but this exam will test two types of skills that you need to apply for any MS or master's level education abroad or any university worldwide. That's why GRE is very famous. That means if you qualify GRE with a good score, then you are able to conduct your master's level education in any part of the world. And if you have a good score, you can also get some good scholarship to do that. So it's always like a dream for most of the people to fly abroad and do their MSc from or MA from all those regions. So first things first, when and how GRE occurs, what is the exam pattern. Then we'll talk about the subjective GRE, that is the GRE in life sciences, the GRE in biology, how to prepare yourself for it, and what it takes to qualify GRE. The GRE does not have such kind of eligibility criteria per se, because you need a valid identity proof. Nothing else is required, because this exam is not going to test your plus 2 or graduations and all these skills. It's just going to test two of your skills. One is your English speaking and writing skills and verbal skills, and the second thing is the subjective skills for which you are applying for the MS outside. Because many universities in the world may not need the subjective score in the GRE, they just know the general score of the GRE. But if you are applying for MPhil and courses which are which you can attain after masters, in those cases you may need to have your subjective score. That's why we'll talk about both here. The GRE exam pattern is simple. The total exam pattern although varies from time to time, because GRE is conducted mostly on the Saturday in each September, October and April. But actually there are multiple times anyone can take a GRE. It's not a fixed date or something. You can check the nearest date for conducting of the GRE, and every year multiple dates are there when the GRE is conducted. So it's not a big problem of taking the exam. It's up to you. When you think you are prepared enough for applying for GRE, then you can apply for it and go for the preparation. Now about the exam pattern, the exam pattern says like for two separate exams, we'll first talk about the general GRE exam, and then we'll talk about the subjective GRE exam. The general GRE exam need to be like attained by every single person, because this is the most renowned one, which will test three of your skills: the analytical writing part, the verbal reasoning part, and the quantitative reasoning part. These are the three parts that you need to prepare very well. Apart from these three sections, you also need to prepare two other sections: unscored and research area. But those things are not actual part of the GRE marking scheme or actual part of the marking score. And as I say, like I've searched this time, like GRE of 2017, they are saying that this unscored and research area is not at all the part of the actual GRE score and marking system. So you don't need to bother about the unscored and research area for now, but bother about the three section: analytical writing, verbal reasoning and quantitative reasoning. So for analytical writing, there are two sections that you need to go for, and analyze an issue and analyze an argument type of tasks will be there. It's simple writing abilities that they will check from here, and they will give 30 minutes for each of this section to write. And whenever you start to take this exam, which will be obviously online, so the first part that they will give you is analytical writing, and you need to do it first, then go to the next section. The next section is verbal reasoning, and the verbal reasoning part also carries two sections, and every section carries 20 questions, and you'll get 30 minutes for every single sections to complete. So 20 questions, 30 minutes for you to complete that exam. And the third part, that is quantitative reasoning, 35 minutes will be given, but 20 questions will be there to complete. So again, 20 questions in 35 minutes. That's all about the GRE. So 20 questions in two sections, total 40 questions in verbal reasoning, 20 questions in two sections, total 40 questions in quantitative reasoning. So 40 total 80 questions, and in analytical reasoning only two questions. So that will give you 82 questions in total, and the total marking stream goes from 130 to 170. It depends on the total number of questions that they ask, because you know they vary these things from time to time. So whenever you are applying for the GRE, you must check whether the marking scheme will be 130 or 170. Now during the exam time, submitting the answers, they will directly show your marks then and there, and also give you score at that point, so you'll know the day of exam how you have done in the exam. So that's a good thing about the GRE exam, which is not true for most of the exams that is conducted in India, but it's an international exam, and that's how it works. Now the cutoff of GRE, like there is no such kind of cutoff, because you know, as I told you, it's an exam which tests your grammatical and verbal ability, aptitude. Those are the things that they check. So the cutoff is not prescribed by GRE or ETS itself. It will be prescribed by the other universities and institute where you are applying after the qualification of the GRE. But one thing I can say, that most of the institute prefer candidates who have more than 90% score in GRE. So if you score more than 90%, you'll probably have a concrete area to apply most of the universities and colleges around the globe, because they will accept your score. So that's one important thing. If you have a score like ranging at 85% or something, then some good institutes may not take you as a GRE score, but you still can go for some institutes instead. But if you score less than 80%, then the score is considered very poor, and you won't be able to attain most of the colleges and universities across the globe. So try to have more than 85%. More than 90% is very good, more than 95% is excellent. And if you want to attain one of the best and greatest universities and institutes across the globe, you need to score 99% or 100% in GRE. So keeping that thing in your mind, if you ask me what is the range of difficulty, I would say yes, it's high, because the cutoff is so high, 90%, 95%. So it's really high. So you need to almost answer everything correctly without any false answering. Now regarding the subjective test, because you know, as I told you, there are two types of tests. One is the general test. We talked about the general test. The subject test is for different subjects, and this video is mostly for the life science community, so I'll be talking about the life science subject. Earlier there was a subject called biochemistry and molecular biology, but that subject is discontinued from 2016 end. So right now there is no biochemistry molecular biology subject. That's a bad news for many people. But there is only one subject in life science, that is biology test. And similarly they have physics test, chemistry test, and they have other tests, arts and different group tests. But for a biology test is the one that every single discipline of the science, life science background can come and go for this exam. And this test consists of 194 5 choice question, that is multiple choice with 5 separate option questions. And mostly this question based on the descriptions of laboratory and field situations, diagram or experimental conditions and experimentation results. And this contains organized into 3 separate areas: cellular and molecular biology, organismal biology, and ecology and evolution. So these are the 3 parts. So you know, cellular and molecular biology is a modern biology part, organism biology is a classical part which you need to know, and third one is ecology evolution, is a hardcore classical part. So anyone from either biotechnology, microbiology field can easily go, as well as from zoology, botany background can easily go. Okay, and the equal weightage is given to each of these 3 areas. Okay, and the total score is calculated based on these 3 areas, but also the sub score for each separate category is also mentioned. That's another important thing about this subject test examination. The number of seats qualified variable, because you know, they ETS never decide which number of seats will be available. The ETS conducts the exam so that you get a score, and then you use that score to take entry into different universities and institutes. So number of seats are variable depending upon which institute you are applying for. Some institute may require 95% cutoff of the GRE, some may require 90% of the cutoff, some may require 88% of the cutoff. It depends on those institutes whether the seats. But actually, if you have a good score like near about 19, above 90% of the score, you may be able to attain most of the institutes, universities, and colleges across the world, across the globe. The difficulty for GRE exam is really high because you need to score maximum, you need to score above 90%, 95%. That's your target. So the room for error is literally nothing there. So if you make even a small one mistake, that will be end of your preparation and end of the exam. That is a problem with the difficulty. And another problem with the exam because of its high fees. So that comes to the next part. What is the fees of the exam? Then the fees of the exam will be approximately 200 to 250 US dollar, and as we know it varies like 60 to 65. That's how US dollar with INR varying. It gives you 14,000 to 15,000 INR for filling up the form and applying for the exam. That will take. So you can't go for every single time, like multiple times you're attending the exam again and again. It will be for 15,000 rupees again and again. Compared to the other competitive exam in India, those exams usually 1500, 1000, 750. That's the charge for every exam, so people can attain maximum time, but which you can't do in case of this GRE exam because it's a huge loss of money in that case. So the final thought and tips that I can share with you regarding the both the part, that is the biology test, subjective test, as well as the general test. But for the general test, I believe that you people need to prepare in advance. It's not like you are preparing only for 2 months, 3 months for GRE. It's not going to happen. If someone targets GRE, if your dream is to go out abroad and study from there, your target should start, your preparation should start from your graduation, and actually your preparation should start from +2 level itself. So the preparation schedule says like you need to read a lot of English novels, you need to read a lot of literature from English and all those new novels that are coming out, as well as newspaper. Everyday reading of newspaper provides a very important idea regarding the stock of words. Vocabulary gets stronger and stronger, as well as you have a lot of synonymous word to know. You need to know, you need to study some dictionaries and stuff like that. So there is no hardcore formula for qualifying GRE. It's not like if I tell you that take a what we say, it's a dictionary and start reading all the words. It's not a proper way to prepare because you need to mug up all those things. So that's not how it will work. The best thing is that you read a lot of novels, you watch a lot of English movies, you are all those English phrases are in your brain when you're watching the movies or watching the English podcasts or watching the news channels. So those things are very much beneficial. I find it myself very much beneficial where I'm preparing for not only GRE but for the preparation of English speaking skills. Those things are really important, and probably the most important part that you can do is preparing those things from the English movies, English literature, reading a little bit and hearing a little bit, saying a little bit. All these things will be matter because once you are up to this particular scheme, once you are preparing based on all this idea from watching movies, reading newspapers, articles, journals, and all these things, then you'll automatically see when you're applying for GRE and try to solve a model question paper and you're doing well. That is the idea of GRE. So there is no foolproof thing that you need to prepare this or that. Yes, obviously based on the question pattern you need to practice a little bit, but like 5 or 10 mock tests will be enough for yourself to get and grasp an idea about what kind of exam it's going to be and how you're going to prepare. That's what we can do. But apart from that, the biggest thing that you need to do is continue the preparation from the graduation level if you want to attain the MS or master's course outside, because you'll have then in that case 3 years, 3 years for the preparation from the graduations completely. Then it will be enough time for you to prepare and go for it, rather than only 6 month continuous preparation for GRE, things like that. And some part of the reasoning and aptitude is required, which is depending upon your IQ skills. So obviously that part is common to any other competitive exam in India, so I'm not going to talk about that separately. But yes, English grammar and vocabulary skills that you can develop in a separate manner in case of GRE preparation. Now the other part regarding the subjective preparation, in this case life sciences, the biology preparation, this preparation will not be difficult because the questions in this area is not that difficult compared to CSIR, which is the net exam in life sciences, compared to GATE, biotechnology. The questions asked in GRE subjective is comparatively easier, a lot easier. So you don't need to bother about your subject first. First you go for the general GRE and qualify it, get a good score, because you know the score of a GRE is valid for 5 years. Okay, so you can once you qualify that general one, then you prepare for the subjective ones. It doesn't matter where you have it. 5 years is a lot of time, so you can prepare for it. And the subjective preparation is simply needs your basic understanding. So if you're applying for the MS, that's why you need the subjective preparation. You know, very basic questions will be asked from +2 level and little part of the graduation level. So good books from graduation level and NCERT books for the preparation, as well as the books which are advanced JE preparation books. You solve some of the MCQs from there, and that will be good to go. Nothing more is required in terms of subjective knowledge here. Okay, but the other part is required regarding the English grammar, vocabulary, and the aptitude part. So if you like this video, please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to my channel to get more and more self-help education videos like that. And obviously share this video as much as you can to the social networks so that other people know about the exam before taking it. Thank you.